Welcome, friends. Welcome, clobberers, all out there in the clobberverse, and new friends who may just be coming across this video for the first time in this channel for the first time. And if you are, let me tell you a little bit about what we do with these Clobby'S Comics Corner Spider Time Machine. My comic shop is called Clobby'S Comics Corner. It is, of course, a TARDIS in the shape of a early 70s Bronze Age spinner rack. And every week I take you back 50 years, nice round number. In this case, this week, March, week 2 of 1972. And I pick out anywhere from 8 to 10 of the new titles, just as if I had a pull list in a comic shop in 1972. And I just show you basically what my choices would have been that week. They pretty much are very, and again, I do that every week for the throughout the course of the month, and they're pretty much kind of I have a certain type of comic I choose. I don't choose everything. It was a huge, big comic book industry at the time, and there was a lot to choose from. So I do a follow-up video that is much shorter. The next day I drop that will just show you some of the ones that I didn't choose, but give them a little bit of love as well, a little attention as well. So this is just, I basically go through these quite quickly. I show you the covers and just a bit about who the creative teams that worked on them, and that's about it. We don't go do a deep dive into the issues or anything like that. It's just to show you what was out there 50 years ago, what the comic industry was like. If you were old enough to be buying comics, I was. And I've been, of course, in the business. I was in the business for a long time throughout the 80s and the 90s, but I was a youngster buying comics at this point 50 years ago. So, well, let's get started, shall we? We're in March now of 1972. And by the way, there is a link to a description in my, a link to a playlist in my description below. See, it's what you get, folks, when you try to speak too quickly, and I do that all the time, and I apologize. We'll try to take it more calmly, but there's a playlist that has all of my Spinnerack Time Machine videos, and of course, please check out my channel if you haven't, and like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. I stream about comics and Star Trek and just about all other things geek in a nice, fun, and friendly and interactive way. We have a great time and a great fellowship here that I'm sure you'll enjoy if you get to know us. Let's quickly recap week 1 of March of 1972. I'll just show them quite quickly because we have a video already that talks about these, and then we'll get on to week 2. So I'll just run these by you really quickly. Get another look at them. It was quite a week. And now on to week 2. What comics did Clobby choose from his pull list for week 2? Well, first of all, I had to correct a mistake. For week 2, I was correcting a mistake from the end of February, and I'm correcting another mistake. Somehow I left another one. I left one off from week 1, and just like I'd done the week before. So, and that is, of course, D. Bud Martin. This one's for you, buddy. I don't know how this happened. Iron Man number 47. But always defer to you and shout out to you for Iron Man. Wow, look at this one though, man. Roy Thomas on the story, of course. On the art, Barry Windsor Smith. Wow, this is right around that time when Barry Smith, who'd been around a little bit, was putting the Windsor in there, spiffing up, fancying up his name, and of course, one of the great artists. He is inked by old Jim Mooney, who was a steady hand back that point for Marvel, and of course had been at DC and things like that as well. Wow, that's different for that title though. And of course, it sports a marvelous Gil Kane cover that is not even ruined by Vince Colletta. What are you going to say? Hey, if there's some Colletta fans out there stumbling across this, don't take it personally. Yeah, everyone beats up on Colletta. It's low-hanging fruit at this point, and it's not fair, but life's not fair. So I hope you're not too miffed with me if you are a Colletta fan, because I'm told they are out there. Landmark issue. This is a landmark week, by the way. Thor number 200, as in the mighty Thor number 200. God, I just love those Bronze Age covers. But usually on 200s, they try to do something big and bold and spectacular. This one, hey, it's big John Buscema art on the cover. With, of course, a Jerry Conway story and art on the interior by John Buscema and John Verpoorten. So this is a nifty. I really do love the Buscema run on Thor. I'm a Kirby guy, but it was, big John Buscema, the great John Buscema had a great run on there as well. The Western Kid, number 4. Story 1 and 4, of course, they're reprints. All these are reprints. There are always a lot of these Marvel reprints back then. Of course, Westerns, they'd done many Western comics in their Atlas days in the 50s and such. And so, hey, they had all that storage material. It looked like, Westerns were still popular at the time. And they were able to keep that little 20-cent cover price on there for now. The Western Kid, number 4, with some reprints from a lot earlier volume 1, I suppose, of Western Kid. Number 6, with such luminaries as John Romita. Some more from Western Kid reprints. In this case, volume 1, number 12. More John Romita art. Can't go wrong with that. And then a reprint from Quick Trigger Western number 14 by Stanley and the extraordinary artist, the great legendary Bill Everett. And a nifty, as I always say each week, I love these John Severin covers for his, whether it's the war books, the fantasy books, or his Western books. John Severin, great artist. The Flash, number 215. Love me some Barry Allen. Story and art, Len Wein, Irv Novick, Frank McLaughlin, Dick Giordano on the inks there. This is probably my favorite era as a Flash fan at that time. This was around the time I was just discovering this series. And I actually like the Irv Novick Flash. Usually it was Carrie Bates writing it, but no, the great Len Wein, the legendary Len Wein on this one. For the primary story, story 2 is a reprint of Showcase number 4. By John Broome, Carmen Infantino, and Joe Hubert inking Infantino. Wow, fascinating. Gotta love that. Some greats all over this cover and all over this mag. Covered by, of course, Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. So, and hey, look, you can tell it's Vandal Savage standing back there. And, they mentioned it too. Come to think of it now. I'm looking at the word balloon. And it's Jay and Gary on the covers. Barry and Jay. Sorry. Try to go too fast. Sorry. I'm working on it, folks. About 50 or 60 years in, I'll get it right. Or I won't. Son of Tomahawk. It's really just Tomahawk, but they put son of up there. Story. That's number 140. Story and art. Robert Kanigher and Frank Thorne with some rare DC work for a Thorne. Or at least I think it was rare. I mean, at that time, you think Thorne, you think Red Sonja, of course, from Marvel around not too long after this point, I believe. Story art 2. A reprint from Hopalong Cassidy, number 129. John Broome, Gil Kane, Sid Barry. Story art 3, Sam Glansman, and story art 4 from Tomahawk, number 31. Bruno Premiani, Ray Burnley, with a nice Joe Hubert cover. The Phantom Stranger, number 19. Story and art, Len Wein and Jim Aparo. Well, you can't go wrong with that crew. Wow, that team right there. Greatness. Love it. Story art. And again, some of these comics, just for those who don't know, we're just kind of talking about, I don't give you my personal history with them. Some issues I've had, some issues I didn't, because I was in the business for a while. What I still have in my collection, I really don't know that much. So I don't think I have this one anymore. But anyway, story art 2, Steve Skates, Tony DeZuniga. Story art 3 is a reprint from House of Secrets, number 60. Jack Miller, Mort Meskin, and George Russos. A lot of names there. Names that, cover out, of course, by Neil Adams, who did some great Phantom Stranger covers. And next up will be Turok, Son of Stone, number 78. Gold Key. A little bit of Gold Key cover going on here. Stories by Paul S. Newman. Art Angelo Todaro and Alberto Giolitti, some of your standards and your staples there at Gold Key, with a George Wilson cover. You never know for sure, but he did so many that and I it's tough to research these gold keys, but I'm pretty sure it is a nifty George Wilson cover. What a great cover artist. World's Finest, number 211. Story and art. Dennis O'Neil and Dick Dillon and Joe Giella. Nice stuff right there. Reprint story for the second one from All American Comics number 89. The Robert Kanigher, Erwin Hasen, and of course, an interesting and a classic and a funny, actually, Neil Adams cover. Let's see here. The Amazing Spider-Man number 109. And this one, again, this was in the year where Stan is back there for a while. Excuse me. And Ramita is back there for a while. It's kind of like a revisiting of just well, I mean, I don't know, just a revisiting of a classic team that they went back to it after being gone for a little while, and they didn't stay there too much longer. But anyway, so this is sort of a short-term resurgence of the Lee Ramita team, with of course another nifty John Romita cover there. Hey, a Doctor Strange appearance, so you can't go wrong with that, can you? Classic cover, Batman number 241. I always love this Neil Adams cover here, so I'm starting out with that cover, but it's inked by Bernie Wrightson. That's the fantastic thing. I mean, that's just, wow. So this image of Batman is just extraordinary. Denny O'Neil, or I didn't know Bernie Wrightson to ink that much. That's the kind of thing that was kind of weird, but that's my research shows that it could be. I think it is true though. Anyway, Denny O'Neil, Irv Novick, Dick Giordano on the first story, Mike Friedrich, Rich Buckler on the second story. Third story is a reprint from all the way back to Batman number 5. Bill Finger, the great Bill Finger, the great creator of Bill Finger, and some guy named Bob Canary or whatever, and Jerry Robinson, another great Batman creator. And again, back to that nifty cover by Adams and Wrightson, if my research search is accurate, but you never know. And now, finally, another landmark. Another, just a huge one here. We have Avengers number 100. Yeah, that's right. Yes, indeediousness. That's just right. Not too on the heels of the Kree Skrull War. You'll have to forgive that crazy Hawkeye outfit, if you will, because just amazing stuff here. Barry Windsor Smith at that time was just getting all over the place. He does, of course, not only the cover, but the interior art with some inks by the great Joe Sinnott and Sid Shores. So, yep, Avengers Assemble, and we do mean assemble. Yeah, so I'm sure many of you remember this classic. So that will about wrap it up for this week. Clobby'S Comics Corner, Spinner Rack Time Machine, week 2 for March 1972. And I want to thank you all who have watched this video. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. You clobberers are just extraordinary. And please, again, like and subscribe if you're new here. If you liked what you saw, if you don't, then I understand. But please do that. And also, please check out the channel for some other. I stream comics Monday nights. Multiple geek topics, or any old geek topic goes on Wildcard Wednesday nights. Thursday nights, my wonderful first officer and chief engineer, we hang as the Trinity hangs, talking all things geek. Saturday nights, the big Star Trek review show, Saturday Night Star Trek, where we review all of real Star Trek 66 through 05, and all that 9 p.m. Central Standard Time here on Clobbering Times. That's my streaming, and of course, I've got these vids, and I'm going to be trying to make as many as I can. So big shout out to my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs, who made this amazing outro for me. So good night, everyone, and or good day, whatever it is. Anyway, look, thank you for watching the video, Clobberers. Have a great one.